So right now I'm in an Airbnb in Bangkok, Thailand. It's morning. The birds are chirping. The construction crews are constructing. I've just finished a 45-minute long jumping jack exercise routine and my daily enema. And so in other words, I'm ready to start podcasting. It's the first one of these, so let me tell you what the program's going to be about. My name's Derek, and I'm traveling alone through Southeast Asia. I've always wanted to travel, but I've only really been in my hometown in Southern Illinois and then in Los Angeles. So I've never really done this before. This is my first week abroad. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm not good at it yet. And so the thing is about that. It's not a travel show because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. It would be disingenuous to call this a travel show because there's not going to be like any advice. I didn't do things probably in the smartest way. I didn't do a lot of research about what I was going to do. There's not going to be like a top 5 bars. I didn't go to 5 bars. There's not going to be top 5 museums. I didn't go to any museums. There's not going to be like any history lessons. There's not going to be a cultural overview. I didn't make any astute poetic observations about the people here. There's not going to be any of that shit. So just let's take that off the table. Set our expectations in a more appropriate place. I'm not going to learn anything. Before I left, everyone said, hey man, you're going to learn so much about yourself. No, I'm not. That's a promise. So I'm in Bangkok. Bangkok is a major city. It has over 14 million people in the metropolitan area. I just read that off of a piece of paper that I had written down, just so you know I did not have that memorized. And it's got all the amenities of a major city. There's like a public transportation system that's very nice. There's big parks. It's got a tropical climate, which means like there's monkeys playing xylophones, and you can, pick a mango off a tree and eat it, and then ride a tiger into the jungle and drink from a special well that will give you powers. It's also ranked as like the #1 tourist destination in the world with over 20 million visitors. So the first place I've gone, it's not really off the beaten path. But that's general information. That's the general stuff. You can find that by going to Wikipedia. That's if you don't know what the fuck Bangkok is. So what I'm going to talk about is not that stuff. It's about what happened to me, the crazy shit I got into. Like I went to the dentist and more. I did more than that. I'm going to call my friend Kevin, my good buddy. I've known him since high school, and I'm going to talk to him about that. I'm going to talk to him about this stuff. This is a podcast, and the name of the podcast is Bad Travel Podcast. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up?
Not a lot. I'm here in Bangkok, as you know, my second Airbnb, and I was just watering my toilet.
Yeah?
Do you know what I mean?
Kinda, yeah. A little bit.
Now, I wasn't pissing in the toilet, which is probably what you think, but I was actually I was using the bidet spout to fill up the toilet with water. Do you know why I was doing that?
No, I don't.
In this second Airbnb, the guy left some instructions, and the instructions were like, if your bathroom starts to smell like the sewer, take the bidet nozzle and fill it up with water. Fill the toilet up with water.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the wording was a little different. He referred to the toilet as the sewer, but it was like if your sewer smells bad, fill up the sewer, and he means toilet, with water from the bidet spout. So I was in the bathroom just now because it did smell like a sewer, and I was filling up the sewer, the toilet, with water from the bidet spout. And it didn't help. But I guess like there was like a complicated diagram that was like this is supposed to flush out the bad. It had this whole thing that was like, uh, yo, Thailand is a developing country. Please don't complain about the toilet smell. Uh, our toilets smell. The sewage gets backed up sometimes, and you gotta water the toilet with a bidet. And like this is not true. This is my second Airbnb. The first Airbnb, no sewer smell. I've been at two hostels, with a bunch of smelly Europeans, no sewer smell. I've used countless public restrooms here in Bangkok. No sewer smell in the restrooms. This is the only place that has the sewer smell, and he's counting on my ignorance as a foreigner, but he doesn't know that I've learned over this past week where a sewer smell should be and where it shouldn't be. And it should not be in my Airbnb that I paid $22 a night for.
Well, it sounds lovely. So it's cool that it has a bidet, though. That's a plus, Bit swanky.
It's okay. Like I have to use the bidet because like there's also like a poster hung up on the bathroom that's kind of like if you shit, like you gotta put the toilet paper in the wastebasket. Because the toilet can't handle toilet paper. So, I mean, if I have to use the bidet unless I just want to have shit in the wastebasket. So I never used a bidet before, but last night was the first time I used it. And I don't think I'm so hot with the bidet. I don't know if my aim is off or what, but it was kind of splashing me everywhere. It was like on my thighs, and I was like, fuck, I should have just took a shower. This...
Well, is it
great?
Is it like a swanky automatic one, or is it like a manual one with like the nozzle that you have to?
It's like the fucking thing that is attached to your kitchen sink.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like fully manual. I wish I had the automatic one that like. Well, what does the automatic one even mean? When you say automatic, does it like detect the shit particles in your asshole and it like eliminates them with a laser, or what happens?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it really just like this kind of weird rod emerges from somewhere hidden in the toilet and sprays water up.
A rod emerges. How does the rod know when to stop?
I don't know.
What if it just keeps going? That sounds terrifying.
I think you like the fancier ones. You can like program them and tell them, you like it has 500 buttons, and you just push it, and you just hope to God that you got the one that's not like
You have to calculate your ass to toilet differential or whatever.
Yeah, the delta on that. Yeah, you have to get that, and then you write a quick little program for the toilet, and then you upload it onto your GitHub, and then download it onto the toilet, and then you're good to go.
Oh, my toilet? Yeah, it's open source.
I think it's an empowering experience myself personally. When you first because you can have an experience like you walk away and you go, "Wow, I've just been covered in shit my whole life."
Yeah, I mean, I'm 28 and this is my first time using a bidet, but I wanted the first time I used a bidet to be special. I wanted it to be because I was like being pampered at a nice fancy place. Not that I was using it so that I didn't have to put shit in the wastebasket directly next to me in the bathroom that already smells like a sewer. But I tell you this about the sewer, and this is kind of... before this trip, I told like everybody, I told you, like, I'm not going to have any fucking epiphanies, There's nothing's going to change about me. I'm not going to learn. I was very adamant about this. But I did actually have one thing, and I think it sort of speaks to all of like humanity maybe even. And it's this. The sewers in different places smell different. Okay? So the sewer in LA, Los Angeles, it smells like an LA sewer. The sewer in Bangkok, it smells like a Bangkok sewer. And I didn't know why. I just walk around. Sometimes I go by a sewer. I'm like, that's the sewer. But the first time I smelled it, I didn't even know it was the sewer. You know what I mean? I didn't recognize it as a sewer because it didn't have that LA sewer je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, right.
It had its own unique pungentness. So the first time I smelled a Bangkok sewer, I was like, is that some tasty street food?
Oh, God. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But then after, and I smelled it like throughout the week occasionally. Not everywhere. It's not like a super common smell. But if you're walking around a lot, you'll smell it. And last night was the first night I had to go number two in the boys' room
Uh-huh.
there in my $20 Airbnb. And this is after a week of eating Thai food. And you know what I discovered is that the sewer smell is poop.
Yeah.
But I never really thought about that before. I thought, the sewer is a lot of different stuff, but it turns out it's mostly the poop smell that is manufactured by the human body after only eating Thai food. So the reason the poop smell or the sewer smell in Bangkok is different than the sewer smell in LA is because in LA they're eating like avocado toast and wheat germ grass smoothies and shit. And here, you're eating noodles and curries. It's just a different kind of poop. So that's kind of something I learned. It was a revelation.
Kind of sounds like you've grown and seen some things, and you've come out with a different kind of perspective on life.
But also, like, it's like it brought me a little bit closer to I feel like the Thai people and to Bangkok and everything. Like I felt a little bit more centered in Bangkok because it's like my insides have changed. Now I kind of have the insides of a Thai person because of what I've been eating. And now I know that when I go to a new place, when I go to a new country, I can just get down on my hands and knees and I can smell the sewer. and I can go, you know what? By the end of the week, I'm going to be just like this.
That's beautiful, Derek.
Yeah, it's just like fucking magic. I don't know why anyone hasn't like written poems and fucking.
Oh, I
Why
think
isn't there a documentary about this?
I'm sure there is
Well,
somewhere in some forgotten VHS in a dumpster or something. Maybe.
Well, I don't know why I said poems and documentaries because I don't read poems and I don't watch documentaries. But I assume they haven't tackled the subjects that I'm tackling now.
I mean, there's probably a fanfic about it at least.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think Sonic's poop. I mean, all he eats is chili dogs, famously. So it's got to be his poop must just look like chili dog. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's. I'm not sure that's how it works. That your what you leave behind looks like what you ate. I don't know. You might be right. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't.
Well, he's a cartoon, Kevin.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
So his body works differently. He's a cartoon.
That's my fault. I don't read a lot of fanfics, so that's on me.
Well, it's good that this trip is not only challenging and changing me, but it's also challenging you because you're a very insular person.
Yeah, I haven't smelled too many sewers. I don't think. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like you're getting around. You're eating food. You're also not eating food sometimes. Sometimes you're in rooms that reek of sewage. I mean, what's going on over there in an old
Oh, you want to know
the day-to-day grind.
I'm not one of these guys that like synthesizes like a take on a city really quickly, but I'm starting to get a handle on what areas of Bangkok I like and what areas I don't like. So the first 2 days I was like on like off of a main street, and I don't remember what street it was. I think it was Sukhumvit.
What?
I don't know. Fuck it. I'll just cut that part out. People don't need to hear me try to say a word. It's offensive to their ears. But the first 2 days, I was like on this big like main street, and it was like right next to the like the BTS, the what's it called? I guess Bangkok train system. I just been calling it the BTS. It's also called the Sky Train. So the first place I stayed was next to the BTS. The streets were like fucking packed with a lot of people. There's every building has a ton of shops, so that like you'll go up on the Sky Train and then you'll like walk into like a mall and it's full of shit, and then you'll walk out and you'll still be like on the second level of the city. I didn't know Bangkok was like a multi-level city, but it really is.
I just like shit connected with like pedestrian bridges at different levels. So like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, like, it's sometimes you'll walk to like across, and this happened to me a lot the first few days because I was like fucking afraid to cross the street, because right when I first got here, the first thing that happened was I walked out into to like cross the road, and there was like a pedestrian crossing thing, so I was like walking across it, and I almost got fucking smashed by a car, because it turns out the cars don't expect the pedestrian to have right of way.
Yeah.
And so I immediately, after like a fucking like 20 hours of traveling, almost just got killed straight up.
Jesus. That would have been
Yeah,
a really bad way to start the trip. You
oh
know?
my God, what would it have meant for the podcast? So that scared the shit out of me. So the first couple of days of wandering around, I was like really bewildered, especially the first day, because not only are the streets like packed with like cars and bicycles and motorbikes and tuk-tuks, and tuk-tuks are like fucking, they're like a motorcycle but with a carriage on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you've seen these, but they're kind of like, they're loud and like dirty, and I guess they're supposed to be cheap to ride in, but not really for tourists because they'll try to upcharge you.
Yeah.
Taxis, buses. I mean, like, people like talk about, oh, LA traffic. I've seen the worst traffic, and it's like, dude, no, Bangkok is like 100 times worse. It really makes LA traffic look like a fucking rural side street or something. It's a completely different game. And so the streets, crossing the streets, terrifying. The first day I was here, I basically only made like left turns, you know? I just went like around a large block because I was like, I'm not fucking crossing the street. But then I ended up walking down like this I kind of got away from the main drag, and I was just, I was in the city somewhere, and I was walking through an area where like there weren't any shops, and all the shit was like closed down, and it was like, oh, okay, this is it was kind of nice because I was like, I'm getting away from the main crowd. It's not a big deal. And on my left, there was a lot of cars in the street, and in front of me was fucking motorcycles like, coming down the sidewalk at me. I guess when there's a lot of traffic, the motorcycle guys say, fuck it, and they all ride on the sidewalk. So these guys are coming within a few inches of me and just like almost swiping me. And I'm like hugging the wall, terrified, because I'm like, did I accidentally go to the motorcycle lane? But no, I'm on the sidewalk. Like, they're jumping the curb to ride on the sidewalk, and it's scaring the shit out of me. So I started to get really jumpy. The first day after the motorcycle thing, when I discovered that they ride motorcycles on the sidewalk, because, I'm a dumb country mouse, I didn't think you could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, you can't do that. You're just like shouting at them as they barrel down at you on the sidewalk.
Come on, you guys.
Yeah, cut it out.
And when those motorcycles were coming at me, I was really thinking like, "Fuck, I'm a tourist. I just got here. It's my first day. I'm bewildered. I don't know what's going on." And I thought, I'm being an asshole. I'm being an asshole for walking on the sidewalk. I should have found an alternate route, because this is where these guys ride their bikes. And then I got further down the sidewalk, and I saw the reason they were jumping the curb. The reason they were jumping the curb at that point in front of me was because just beyond that point, there was like a barrier of concrete posts in the middle of the sidewalk to prevent people from doing that. So, in fact, what they were doing was not legal. And they were being the assholes, not me. I was not being an asshole. I was being a dipshit, and I had my big backpack. I was walking around, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I was not being an asshole.
Jesus. So, I mean, so there has to be a system for like the pedestrians, right?
Again, like, the pedestrian traffic is also 10 times more than I had like ever seen anywhere. Like, this is a real This is like a super city. This is a megapolis or some whatever the fuck. The density of the place and the fact that there are so many people like really moving about. I mean, it's not like Los Angeles where everyone's in their fucking in-home Pilates studio or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Nobody's walking outside in Los Angeles. In Bangkok, they know what's going on because like when I was walking down that street with a motorcycle, there wasn't anybody fucking walking with me. Maybe they just knew.
Don't go down there, Sonny. There's some motorcycles that'd like to hop on the sidewalk and run you over.
That was a very offensive impression of a Thai person.
Sorry, I didn't.
They love to say "sunny." Well, it's part of their culture.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's. I would imagine it's kind of like interesting, just because that kind of like anarchic traffic going on, but still functioning. You know what I mean?
It's fascinating, and the place I wanted to watch it from mostly was from the second floor, like from the SkyTrain. Like being on the elevated train, watching the traffic, it's like, this is beautiful, this is magical, this is amazing. It's like, because it moves like currents, like in like water, because like if part of the traffic slows down, it all routes around that part of traffic without regard to like lane markings.
Yeah.
And they know how to drive this way. And I don't know like if it's because they're just fucking amazing drivers or if they've just adjusted to this particular environment, and if they tried to drive in light traffic, they would suddenly hit a fire hydrant. Like, I'm not really sure what the psychology is behind it, but clearly everybody's like connected in a way, in the sense that they all know what's going on. Not connected in a way that I'm like calling them like bugs and they all have like a hive brain, but I just mean they all know the rules of the road because that's where they grew up, of course. And it's fucking interesting to watch it, and it's terrifying to be a pedestrian.
Yeah.
You try crossing the street and cars just keep going because they see you as like, well, this guy's trying to get in the way of my fucking.
Doesn't he know I'm driving?
So I'll keep driving. Yeah, it's fine. I'm bigger than him. I'll push him around a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the times when I first was crossing like the street. I was like following close behind this group of like school children. It was like 3 kids, and they were very fearless about it. They showed me how to cross the street in Bangkok, and it seems like the way you do it is you hold your head up high, which is not natural for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was walking behind this group of school children, hugging close behind these children like a creep. I start to feel like a child molester because like there's these 3 young children and I'm just like, but it's only because I don't want to die and they know how to cross the road.
You're saying these kids kind of, they looked at you and they saw like the fear that was just kind of consuming you, and they're like, let's show them how to cross the street. I
mean, hopefully they saw the fear that I was afraid of, like crossing the street, and they didn't take my fear as the fear that the police are going to catch me, the world's most infamous child molester or something,
Yeah,
But I know I was wearing like an expression of fear on my face when I was following these children. But everybody just, I guess they do it so many times a day, they go. There's a confidence about it that you have to assume. And it's a little bit hard for me because I know they look at me and they go, this guy's not confident. I have the expression of fear on my face, and I also have like have a huge fucking 20-pound backpack with all my shit in it.
Yeah,
I look like kind of like a turtle or something.
So what day was that when you were figuring out how to navigate Thai traffic as a pedestrian?
I mean, that was mostly like the first 2 days. I don't want to sound like I'm an old expert at this shit. It's only been a week. I still really don't know what I'm doing.
You're an old hand.
And you call me a child molester again? I told you I was just following those children for my own safety. Don't call me an old hand.
Sorry, I retract the statement.
I mean, I was so jumpy the first few days that like a woman with like a ice cream cart or something like was slowly eking out of like a side street, and I was like, fuck. I jumped. I was like, ah.
Don't you know I've almost been hit by a car?
I wish I had my American gun on me, is what I mutter constantly. I saw,
Yeah.
like, all the other tourists also seem to be having trouble with it, which made me feel good because people will do the thing where, like, they look wantingly at the other side of the street and all the cars just keep going. And like there's a walk signal. It's like it's green. It's like go, you can go, buddy. But they're kind of just staring because the cars are not stopping. And so then suddenly like they do the most fucking dangerous thing, which is instead of just walking at a steady pace, which lets the cars see you and that's the safe way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel safe because you're in the road longer, but that's the safe way to do it. The thing they do is the cars are coming, there's a walk signal, and then they just run.
Oh no.
It's like that's not you're putting yourself like on a collision course at that point. And I also saw there was like this white guy tourist.
Yeah.
He looked pretty fresh, and I had been here like 3 or 4 days at this point, so I'm like, a tourist, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're coming to see my town? Is that it?
Bangkok.
Is this a
my
game for
city?
you?
Yeah.
My city, Bangkok.
Got a lot of memories here.
Remember that time I went to sleep 3 nights in a row? Yeah. Those were the days, the salad days.
Yeah. The bed in my hostel, my old stomping grounds.
I saw this tourist guy, and he was like pushing a stroller in front of him, and he was trying to cross the street. And I was just like, oh man, that baby's gonna die.
Oh no.
He has the stroller in front of him. If I was here with a baby, like just carry the baby. Don't push the stroller in front of you.
Go get one of those baby slings, that you like have on the front of you,
I didn't see many Thai people doing the stroller thing. I think you're supposed to carry your baby.
It just sounds like a bad idea, to have a stroller in an extremely crowded city with chaotic traffic,
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor or anything, but I'm just...
I think it would have been like well within my rights to just take that child and raise it as my own.
Well, I think that's the measured response to seeing something like that,
Yeah. I mean, I would raise the child to be shitty and stupid, but I also wouldn't have it in a stroller. In fact, I wouldn't take it anywhere. It stays at home next to its bowl of kibble. But at least it's safe.
It's safe. Yeah. So you're walking around. Where are you walking to? Like where are you? On your first day, you wake up. You're in Bangkok. This is, like you said, I think the first time that you've traveled internationally in a decade almost. What's the first thing you do? You're dodging cars. You're almost getting hit by motorcycles. You're watching people endanger their children. Where are you going?
I still haven't really figured out like the tourist thing, so I'm just doing the stereotypical shit of like I'll Google like kind of basically like tell me what to do as a tourist, and it comes up with a bunch of shit. And I mean, luckily I'm not interested in most of it. Because some of it is just like, go to this fucking museum of contemporary art. And it's like, it looks the same as contemporary art back home. It's cool, but I don't necessarily need to go there. But, yeah, like a list will come up and it's like parks and... It's kind of like an information overload at first because I didn't have like a set plan for when I actually landed, set all my shit down in my Airbnb, and then walked out on the street. I was kind of just hoping the city would guide me, but it didn't really work that way. And yeah, my first 2 days were just like fucking. I didn't get a lot done because I wandered around the neighborhood. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't use the SkyTrain at first, and so I was just like bumbling around, almost getting hit by cars.
Mm-hmm.
The first few times I went out, I basically, because like I like food, it's my main way of interacting with another culture is to just eat their food.
Yeah.
It's the best, I feel like it's the best type of cultural consumption because it doesn't require language.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't require historical understanding, which, I got to read like a book, you know?
You're right. I'm not reading a
All
wiki.
you have to do is put an item in your mouth, and then your taste buds will tell you what that culture means.
Yeah.
Is that a tangy culture? Is that a spicy culture? This is my categorization of the world. It comes through taste.
So, with that in mind, I've heard Thailand's pretty spicy, like insanely spicy. Would you say that's true?
Not to brag, but it's no, it's fine. Like a lot of this food already comes spicy, and they also like bring you like a the condiments, which includes like chili and chili oil,
Yeah.
like dried chili, chili oil. But I didn't think it was like overwhelmingly spicy. Like it wasn't like they were trying to, and maybe it was by virtue of my white skin. But even when I told them like, yeah, make it spicy, it was about as spicy as I would expect. Like I cried, my face was red. But it wasn't like a new threshold in spiciness. I already like spicy food. It was totally bearable. I think if you go to Thailand, like you'll be fine.
Okay. Like
It's not
You
like
mean-
all the fucking food is spicy. In fact, I think the overwhelming aspect about the food is not its spiciness, it's its sweetness.
okay. So it's sweet?
Yeah, everything is sweet. The noodles are sweet. All the sauces that they use to make the noodles are sweet. They put palm sugar like in like fucking everything. Also, and that's not entirely fair. I was like, especially the first couple days, really seeking out like desserts. Like I was getting mango sticky rice, and I was getting like
Oh, that sounds
coconut ice
good.
cream.
Nice.
Oh my god! The thing about the sweetness is that after like 2 or 3 days of only eating sweet food, even like your main dishes that are like noodles and meats, is that I was starting to really crave like something bland. I was like, oh my god, if I could just have steamed broccoli, you know?
Yeah. You like just something without the overwhelming flavor profile.
I need to chew on some shoe leather for a minute. Like this is too fucking much sweetness. And not only is it super sweet, but the condiments they bring you, dried chili, chili oil, it also includes sugar. It's like a four-top of condiments, and they bring you a side of fucking sugar, and people will take the sugar out of the condiments and they'll put it on their noodles. They'll put sugar on their noodles. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying they love sweetness. I feel like sweetness is the defining aspect so far of the Bangkok food I've been eating. I mean, I didn't ever do it. The food always came sweet enough. I never thought like, God damn, these noodles are delicious. This curry's delicious. I need some sugar.
Yeah. Is it like an overbearing? It sounds overbearing, honestly. It sounds like it's too much. It's too much sugar.
It's
like relative to where.
for my palate, it's a little bit too much because normally, like, I mean, I like sweet treats. Like, I love milkshakes and I like eating a pancake. Even like once a day, even though for that kind of thing is almost too much. You gotta
Yeah.
like space it out every couple of days. With this, I was just eating sweets from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, and not even on purpose. I would just order a dish, and it turns out it's actually a treat. I didn't even know it was a treat. I ordered coffee here. They have coffee stands like on every corner, multiple coffee stands on every street, and the coffee they use is like they use instant coffee, and then they add sugar to the coffee, and they add sweetened condensed milk. So they add sugar to sweeten it, and then they add milk that's sweetened to sweeten it, and they hand you the thing, Thai iced coffee, and it's kind of like a light brown color, and it's fucking powerfully sweet. It's so sweet to the point where I'm drinking it and I get the caffeine rush because it's like kind of strong. They put a lot of instant coffee in it and the sugar rush at the same time, and it just makes me feel like my body's gonna fucking shut down. Like it's too much.
It sounds good. I don't know.
I mean, no, and the thing is, it is good. When I got one of those like sweetened condensed milk coffee drinks. I took a sip of it. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking overwhelming. This is too much. It's too sweet. Gah. And then I drank the whole thing in like 2 minutes. I just kept. I was just like, God, this is so sweet. And I found myself with a straw in my mouth,
Yeah.
almost skipping down the road. It tastes really good.
Yeah.
I understand why you would drink it that way every single day.
What's the most, do you think, out of what you've eaten so far, what you've drank so far? Has there been any that you've taken that you're like, damn, I could eat this for like a week straight every day?
The thing about the food here is I was kind of like trying to like temper my expectations because I already eat like Thai food in Los Angeles. We have Thai Town. I love Thai food. I was like, yeah, I get it. I like the food. After a week, I'm going to be sick of it. But everything here is like so much better. Like it's on another level. It's such a dense city. There's so many people walking around that if a place has a lot of people at it, it's got to be like really good.
Yeah.
Just like not, because it's been forged through like not to get all free markety on you about it, but like
Lay it down, Milton.
There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of guys fucking trying to sell their sweet noodly shit. And like so if one place has a bunch of people at it, you're like, well, this has got to be good. And you go in and of course it's incredible. Almost everything I've eaten out here has been like incredible to the point where one day I had a meal and it was just good and I was like, ugh, this is just good. Why even finish it? It tasted good, but I was like, I kind of want to just throw this away and go get something incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit of a bumpkin, so I don't know. I eat mayonnaise on Wonder Bread and a steamed corn. So I don't know much about Thai food. Like, is there like a specific dish or a set of dishes that you're like, hell yes, that you can like kind of gauge?
The duck, things with
Really?
duck in them. Duck is like fucking yeah, duck.
Okay.
Good bird. Why aren't we eating this bird in America?
I don't know
This
yet.
bird has not had its due in America.
Yeah.
We're like fucking around with chickens and turkeys. Turkeys suck ass. Let's be real. It's a dry, bland meat. Duck, it's like so fatty. It's like moist. Still, a good duck is like miles better than like the best turkey in the world.
You saying even maybe a shitty duck is better than
Perhaps even a shitty duck is better than the best turkey in the world. I mean, people should be eating duck. It's great. Crispy pork, like basically deep fried pork belly, extremely good. What else is good? Papaya salad's good, and that's like papayas and peanuts and carrots, and it's in like a limey, spicy type of dressing.
Okay.
Although I don't even know if it makes sense to call it salad because it's like, again, this is a very sweet dish. It's made of plants. It's a big mess of stuff. It's not soup. I guess you can call it salad, but to me, it's kind of like structurally different than a lettuce-based salad. I don't know if that's my Western imperialist.
I think it might be that you look at something
Okay.
has no romaine or kale, and you're like, no, it's not a salad. I don't care what you say.
Right.
I went to Harvard. That's not a salad.
They've decided it's a salad for them. It's a salad. I'm sorry. You got to call me out when I'm being problematic like that.
No, I mean, it sounds good as hell. Everything you just said. I think, like, I don't know like my curry taxonomy, but I think yellow curry is like coconut curry, right?
I don't really know what the shit is made out of.
Yeah, you're just like give me the yellow one on rice. That's
So, like, at the second hostel I stayed at, they had this, like, cooking class. And this guy was like, oh, I'm going to show you how to make tom yum. And also, I think it's some tom. Some tom, I think that's the name, is papaya salad. And then tom yum, of course, we all know is the delicious soup. I was there at the cooking class. I paid attention. I made myself my own papaya salad. I was fascinated by the guy's process. I looked at the ingredients and I cannot fucking remember what he did. I don't remember what was in the dishes. Sugar. I remember he put like a lot of sugar in it actually. Sugar and chilies and like a fish sauce and tamarind. And then in the soup, total mystery. He put a bunch of liquid in there. I assume some water. There was fish.
Oh, cool. Fish soup, like a fish broth.
Yeah, it was like a clear broth. He didn't put any coconut in it. He was like, "This is kind of my style of this soup." And there were a couple people there were kind of like making a thing about like no coconut in the tom yum. It's like shut the fuck up. He's a Thai chef.
Who are you?
He knows
Yeah.
what he. Yeah, he says you don't need coconut. He doesn't have to put coconut in it. It's fine.
Yeah. He's mastered it to such an extent that he knows what he can and cannot fuck with, and it still tastes good. Whereas you, a novice, have to paint by the numbers, right? It's like you have to.
Right, yeah.
Let-
I mean, you know, because like in Milwaukee or wherever the fuck they put coconut in it. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
After that guy was like super cool and he like spoke English like really well because he was also like he lived in America for a couple of years like in the 80s.
yeah.
Like some of his phrasing was also kind of like 80s America when he spoke English, which was cool because he ended a lot of sentences and like man.
Just imagine.
Loved it.
Just imagine he sounds like Andrew Dice Clay.
Go ahead, do your impression. I know you want to.
I cannot do Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, come on, like give it the old college try.
Hickory dickory dock. That's all I got.
That was pretty good.
That's all I know about Andrew Dice Clay, I think.
Hey man, the important thing is you tried. Give yourself a pat on the
I
back.
gave it my best. But that's cool. I mean, that you got to cook. I mean, you said that was the second hostel you were at, right?
Yeah, that was the second one. The second hostel was like it was like on a side street, like kind of way a little bit off the main road, and it was like there were a bunch of like trees and greenery, and all the hostel dorms were like made out of like storage shipping freighters or shipping containers, like the long shipping containers.
Oh, like train cars?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, okay.
So they were like stacked on each other, and they were converted to like hostel dorms, and there wasn't really like one central building, but it was all connected by walkways, and like the area where you hang out, like the living room, was like just this yard that was like full of like plants and picnic tables and shit. There was an outdoor bar. Even the lobby, like where you check in, was outside, and the name of the place was actually The Yard. And it was really cool. It had a very homey, chill atmosphere. The people there were really cool. It looked like it looked like an indie folk music video or something. There were like lights strung up through the yard, and there were also a shitload of mosquitoes. There were just so many fucking mosquitoes. But it was chill. It was like a good like reprieve from like. The first couple days, I was like in an Airbnb in a high rise where I could see like a city view, and it was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because it was like in a new, modern, hip apartment. And the second day, or the second place I stayed was in a hostel that was like in the old town. So all around are like these temples and monuments and like government buildings that are kind of like a little bit more worn, you know, and it doesn't really have like fucking chain restaurants and shit. It's like this is like the old spirit of Bangkok, which was fine. And then, so the third place I stayed at the second hostel, it really had its own vibe, and it didn't feel like I was even in Bangkok anymore. It was like, welcome to Portland, you know, because I looked around at my fellow travelers, and they were all like experienced travelers my age or a little bit older than me, and even their breakfast was like very cute and quaint because they gave us like toast with a little side of jam and a little bit of yogurt.
It was very, very, what do you call it? Very twee.
Twee as fuck, yeah. I mean, but the first hostel I stayed in, like, kind of wore me down a little bit. It turns out I didn't really like the old town.
Really?
Yeah.
What was-
So the
Sorry.
second hostel was good because it was like a refreshing change. I was like, great, I'll live here for a day or two and I'll recharge, and it worked.
What didn't you particularly like about the old town?
The old town is where all the temples are, and you know, again, I'm working my way down the tourist list of shit I gotta do while I'm a tourist.
Yeah.
And at the top of the list really are like these old temples like Wat Pho and all the other ones that I've forgotten the name of, like literally all of them. I don't remember the name of any of them except for Wat Pho. So I gotta go to Wat Pho, and I'm at my hostel, and I'm like, cool, time to go to Wat Pho. I start walking, and guy's talking to me. He's like, hey man, where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm from America. I'm from California. And we start talking. He's like a nice guy and everything. He's telling me about, like what are you doing here exactly? And I was like, oh, I'm going to be in Bangkok for like a week, and I'll probably go up north. And he's like, Bangkok for a week? No, man. You got to get out of Bangkok. All Bangkok has is shopping malls, traffic, and temples. And I was like, it's kind of like L.A. And then, quietly, I was like, but we don't have temples. There's no religion.
Yeah.
Just crystals.
Just beautiful crystals.
Just palm reading shops with neon signs. So he's talking to me, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm talking to just a regular Thai guy, and we're shooting the shit about our cities, and it's great. And he's kind of like, yeah, man, you got to get out of Bangkok. Let me tell you about these cool places you got to go. He's giving me like a fucking list. He suddenly he's writing shit down. I'm like, man, this guy rules. And then he's like, how you getting to the temple? You walking? And I was like, yeah. I'm walking to Wat Pho. And he's like, oh, dude, bad news. Wat Pho is closed. Yeah, it's a national holiday. You don't watch the TV out here? It's a fucking holiday. The temple's closed, man. Go to this other temple. It's much better. And it's like, all right, cool. And he like flags down a Tuk Tuk, and I haven't taken a Tuk Tuk yet because I haven't wanted to do like the negotiating thing because they don't have a meter. It's not like Uber. You have to like before you get in be like, okay, 60 baht and I'll go somewhere. He flags down this Tuk Tuk, and he's like, hey, this is my friend. He like shakes my hand. He's like, take this guy to these couple places, and you're only going to charge him 50 baht, okay? And the guy's like, all right, 50 baht, fine. He negotiates it for me. I shake his hand. I'm like, thanks so much, dude. This fucking rules. I get into the tuk-tuk with the guy, and the guy's like, driving around the tuk-tuk. It's fucking awesome. We're in traffic. He's like weaving through the lanes. It's not like being in a taxi. He's like fording the river or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that the right phrase? And I'm like, the wind's in my face. The exhaust from the shitty tuk-tuk is in my face. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, the tuk-tuk driver, he's also pretty good at English. And he's like talking to me. He's like, where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. We do that thing. I'm like, how long you been doing the tuk-tuk thing? He's like, oh, just for a while. He's like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 28. And he's like, I'm 28 too. And then we smile at each other. And I'm kind of thinking like, this guy does not look 28.
Does he look? He looks younger.
He looks much younger.
Okay.
So we get to the first place, and we pull up, and it's just like a building. And I'm like, "Hey, man, what's the deal? I thought we were going to the temple, right?" And he's like, "Oh, no, you gotta go in and talk to these guys. It's about your trip. You want to go take a trip out of Bangkok, right?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, we can just go to the temple. And he's like, oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, these guys are actually paying for the tuk-tuk, so you need to go in and get a coupon from them. And I'm like, coupon?
Oh, dude.
What the fuck are you? So I walk into this like dingy building, and like it's like really low lighting. There's like 4 people in there. They're kind of just talking to each other, and I walk in, they kind of just like look at me. And they go back to doing what they're doing. Then they have their shoes off. It's very casual. And then so I'm like standing there awkward, and I'm like, hey, I need a coupon or something. A guy said I need a coupon. And
give me a coupon.
Don't really understand me. So they're kind of looking at each other and talking. And they're like, oh, yeah. They're pointing me off to this other guy who's at a desk. And I didn't see him because he was kind of in the darkness. He's in the darkness. And he flips on a light next to his desk, and suddenly he's illuminated like in this like artificial blue light, and he has his feet crossed on his desk, and he's this
Just pulls a cord behind him and just lights up coupon and neon.
He has like a tan, and he has like white hair. He's like clearly not Thai, and so I kind of walk over to him, and he has his feet up on his desk, and he's like, in perfect English, he's like, "So where would you like to travel today, sir?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want a coupon for the Tuk Tuk." And he's like, "We've already given him the coupon, sir." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm leaving." Bye, slick travel salesman guy sitting in the darkened corner of this room. And I don't think this room is even a travel agency. I think these guys are just hanging out. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I walk out, and I'm like, "Hey, man, they said you already got the coupon." And he is like, "Oh, okay, well." He's like, "Okay, I'll take you to the next stop." And I was like, "Man, I don't really want to go to this fucking next stop. Can I just pay you to take me to my hostel?" And he's like, "You don't want to go to the temple?" And I was like,
Not after this.
I mean, if it, yeah, no, I don't want to go to. I don't know what the temple's gonna be like, but I assume it's not the temple I want to go to. So no,
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the temple.
You know
Please
how
just take me.
you're like, you know how I like trusted you before this happened?
Things kind of changed after I went to the dark room with people not wearing shoes and the slick, weird travel salesman, private eye guy who flicks on his light and smiles at me.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, I mean, you're a tuk-tuk driver. I'll pay you, and you can just take me to my hostel, right?" And he's like, "No."
What the fuck?
He's like, "I'm not going to take you to your hostel." And I was like, "Okay, so I'll walk, right?"
Yeah.
So I'm just going to walk away, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay you. And he already gave me like a 15-minute ride, so he's like, "Okay." I'm like, "So I'm not going to pay you, and I'm just going to walk away." And he's like, "Okay." And I was like,
Oh my god.
I don't know if you're pissed at me. I don't really know what's going on.
Remember, we're both 28. What happened?
I'm like, I'm starting to think you're not 20 at all. You're just trying to get on my good side.
Yeah.
Normally, when I find out someone's the same age as me, they're like my best fucking friend. But this guy turns out he deceived me a little bit. We're not the same sign.
You were like, I thought we were 28, fella. What happened?
I thought we were going to be 28 together. I thought we were going to make this crazy year about us. Turns out the world's pitted us against each other. So I'm like, "All right, well, I'm walking away." And he's like, "Okay." And so, I'm walking away, and I'm like, fuck, the guy on the street who was my friend clearly set this up.
Oh, you got conned.
I got fucking, scammed.
They-
They were trying to run a game on me a little bit.
Damn. Little did they know that you don't know the rules of the game or who's playing.
I'm too stupid to be scammed.
You can't con me. I go in, I see 4 guys with their shoes off and some weird Guy Fieri guy in the back speaking English, and I'm out.
They were like, "Do you wanna go on a trip then, I guess?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, well, get the fuck out of here."
Damn.
So I mean, it didn't work, and like, I get it. You want to run a scam, and really for me, I guess it's not that bad, but I don't want to fucking get scammed. I don't like the. It's about the dignity of the thing. I just don't want to be scammed.
You don't want.
I get what you're trying to do.
You don't want the guy who sits in the dark with his shoes off on his desk, being happy that he got you.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's good that you got out.
The thing is, the travel agency or wherever the fuck he took me to, it was somewhere in the old town, like where my hostel was, but like a mile or 2 away. And so I was like, great, now I have to walk to my hostel because I'm afraid I'm not going to hail another one of these guys. I imagine all the Tuk Tuk guys, like around the temples are probably kind of the same, so I've hardened my exterior to it. So I started walking, and I'm like in this unfamiliar part of town, and I didn't want to go to, and it's kind of, it's fine. I don't feel in danger, but I'm like, I'm not where I thought I was going to be. And it's thrown me off a little bit. And I'm walking, and a guy stops me. He's like, "Hey, man, you're going the wrong way. The travel agency's back there." And I'm like, "Dude, they already tried to get me."
You're too late, buddy. I'm wise, fella. You see?
And the guy looks at me. He's like, he starts laughing. And he walks off. And I'm like, "God damn it."
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, buddy, the travel agency's that way," and you're like, "Well, go get them. Go travel." I don't know.
You're gonna have to fucking chase me down and make me travel to some day trip out of Bangkok that's gonna cost $800.
Yeah. Man, so you're walking back. You're swimming through the sea of scammers on your way back to the hostel.
It's just all like that in the old town. I mean, I like the historical, the temples and stuff, but it turns out that I don't like it as much as like the developed, like international, cool, multi-level SkyTrain ass city that I was staying in the first 2 days, because that is like, it's chaotic and hectic, but I can understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are city people. You know, the kids, they look like fucking LA kids. They dress cool and shit.
Yeah.
And,
they've got their Supreme shirts and their jogger pants.
They really do.
Yeah.
They look cool as fuck. And
I look like shit, and they were way cooler than me. And it's just...
Oh, I definitely look like shit because I pack my shirts, I roll them up, I unfurl them. They're just fucking... it's just one big wrinkle. And I'm wearing that around, and my pits I'm fucking sweating. I'm not used to the humidity. Because it's hot, it's like 90-something degrees, and it's not like LA where it's a dry heat. It's wet. I'm walking around... dripping, got my backpack on, just full of dirty underwear and shit, like I'm a mess. These cool kids are walking by. They don't see me at all. But, if when you're in the city, it's like, oh God, I need a break. You can just like walk into a mall.
Yeah.
And being in a mall is like, it's like being in America. It's the same. Like, you know how, like, in America we have, like, there's Little Italy and there's Chinatown and stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't really have, like, Little America in other places. But they do. It's called the mall. That's Little America. You go into the mall and suddenly it's like, I'm home again. My old friends are here. I've got Dunkin' Donuts. I've got Dairy Queen. I've got my good friend H&M if I want to get some pants.
I thought the same thing going, overseas and stuff, is that the mall, it's a very international style. And yeah, you go in and it's like, it's the same. I'm curious how they pull that off, It's just like that uniform experience. It's like every time you go to McDonald's or whatever, it's
interesting because it's different, but it's the same. Because like a lot of the stores are like, they're Thai stores, like Thai restaurants, of course. But it's like, even though the content changes, the form is the same. It's a comfortable packaging to like the thing that they're trying to deliver that's foreign, like in theory, but it feels familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So like the second day I was here, one of the places I ate was at I ate this place called Pier 21. It's in a mall called Terminal 21 in Bangkok. It's an airport-themed mall, which is like really funny to me because I just spent like basically 2 days in fucking airports and eating in airport like food courts.
Uh-huh.
And then I land in Bangkok and I'm like, all right, time to go to the airport-themed mall and eat in a food court there. But it was good because I was tired. I was just like, take me.
Yeah.
And I would actually, if you're ever in Bangkok, I would recommend going to Pier 21 because it's like easy, and you could try a lot of different things, and they're also very cheap. It's still like $1 for a dish,
mm-hmm.
and they got a lot of good food there. I only knew about the place because like it actually shows up like this is the top things you need to do in Bangkok is go to this mall food court. I was like, no way, come on, no, I'm authentic. I'm only gonna do the authentic Thai shit.
Like
but
get,
then I
like
went there
get
and
conned.
I was like, yeah, like get scammed by some guy who's 28. But I went to the mall and I had a great time at the mall. It recharged me a little bit. And I was, whatever. I was still in Bangkok. I was still eating, noodle soup. I've been discovering that with each bit of exploration and scariness, like walking around the old town, not knowing where I am, getting scammed, there's also you can find that familiarity in the the part of the town that's been colonized by capitalism to just be entirely uniform to your experience.
That's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I was gonna ask, what just out of curiosity, what chains made it over there? They got Popeyes, they got McDonald's, Taco Bell. What's going on?
KFC is pretty big. McDonald's is big. McDonald's has like a corn pie, which I kind of want to try.
Oh, nice.
It's like an apple pie, but I guess it's filled with corn. Sounds appealing to me.
Yeah, I like stuff that's like slightly different than that. It's just like a bit of a curveball. I had when I was traveling, I had they had a big chicken mac, just a Big Mac with chicken instead of beef, and
Did you have it?
I did. I had it. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna miss the big chicken mac.
This opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah. Turns out it's
Just
just
telling your grandchildren you fucking didn't have the big chicken mac, they disown you.
yeah. Turns out you can recreate the chicken mac here in the States. You just buy two McChickens, smash them together. So it's very
Yeah, but then you don't have the chef creating it in the back.
That's true. It was very whelming. I'll say that it was a very whelming whelming experience. But yeah, you should get the corn pie, man. Just try it. See what's up. Scope the scene.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying a lot of food. Like, I went on a food tour with the chef from the second hostel. Because, the second hostel, the Twee hostel, they set up this food demonstration, which is a very Twee thing to do. And then the guy was like, hey, I'm doing a food tour. You should come along. And I was like, all right, maybe I will. And, I'm really glad I did because it ruled. Because this guy's a chef. He knows Bangkok. He grew up in Bangkok, and he's like really knowledgeable about the food. And he like picked places that ruled. Like the food tour was in Chinatown. I think it's called like Yaowarat.
Mm-hmm.
Yaowarat. Oh man. Okay, fuck that.
Yaourt.
If I mispronounce something, it's not because I'm racist. It's because I'm very stupid.
Yeah.
So the food tour was in Chinatown, and it was 16 courses of food.
Jesus.
And I didn't eat it all that day because I knew it was going to be a lot. But by the end of it, I was like, I could barely move. Like we went through like stalls. We went through like back alleyways, like alleys where the buildings are tall, and there's like they have like their own like the roofs and stuff, so it doesn't feel like you're in an alley. It doesn't feel like you're outdoors. It feels like you're indoors or like in a dingy hallway. Like and this was like when the sun was still out, but it was dark, and like there was like water leaking onto our heads, and we would stop at this corner that would just seem to like be built into a side of a building. There's this woman there, and he's like, this woman has been making this dish since she was 16. She's 80 years old now.
Damn.
And he sat us down at this like table with little plastic chairs that you can barely fit on, like the kind for like kids or something, and served us this noodle dish, and it's fucking great. The noodles were springy. I think they were like handmade noodles. The sauce was incredible. The meat was very good. We talked to her a little bit, and she was a very nice lady. And, it was like that, but then it just kept happening. Like, he took us to, like, this other place that was, like, like, all the decor and these old, like, authentic, like, retro Thai places were, like neon colors. This was, like, a neon blue painted, but it was, like, in almost like a garage type of atmosphere. And there was a guy out front. I should also say this, that a lot of the cooking that's being done is not being done in a back kitchen. Even if you're sitting down, a lot of the time the cooking will be done in front of the restaurant on the street. So we sit down in this like kind of like a garage space in an alleyway, like way off the beaten path. This guy cooks us our food in the alley, and then he brings it to us. and it's called like workers noodles. And he's like, they call it workers noodles because guys working hard manual labor can afford this cheap dish, but there's so much to it that they just eat one for the entire day and they have energy. And he's like, yeah, and I knew this chef since I was a boy. I've been coming here, and the decor hasn't changed. It's always looked like this. And this guy's always the one that cooks it. He cooks it until he runs out of stuff, and then he's closed for the day. It's fucking incredible. And I was a little conflicted about it at first, because, I think food tour, and I think, God, that's a touristy type of thing to do. But you kind of got to do it. You got to find somebody that knows shit about how the city actually works if you want to try, like, that city's specific thing. Or else, because my attitude was like, no, that's touristy. I'll find my own thing, but I'm a tourist. Anything I find would be touristy.
Right.
If I try to find my own thing, I'm going to end up eating in the mall food court, as I did. I would have never found this place in a back alley. I would have been afraid to go back there.
Right. Yeah, I second that, man. I think, there's no making up for like lived experience and being able to, take in the totality of a place or at least something close to it versus like, I feel like if you, like you said, the old town, or if you go to the Eiffel Tower or any like, touristy area, there's always going to be people scamming. There's always going to be people trying to like give you pamphlets and shit and like do weird tricks with you. And it's like, going with going somewhere with like someone that's from there and like, going and getting their perspective and then like, going to a restaurant, checking it out. Like that's something that's like, I don't know. It's just cool. It's something it's difficult to capture or do. And, it's just a good time. I agree with you 100%.
I mean, like, I guess like an analog would be like when you go to like one of those historical American towns, like Hannibal or whatever, where it's like, this is Mark Twain's hometown. And then everything there sucks.
He left. He got out.
Right.
Yeah.
We're still here and we're selling trinkets.
Yeah.
And we don't give a fuck about Mark Twain. But you, the idiot tourist, came here and you think we revere him.
Yeah.
Wrong. We want your money.
Yes. Mark Twain, he's from here. He left and went to California to make his start in writing and died in Connecticut. So, learn from that what you will.
But I mean, all I mean is like, yeah, that's like not a Thai thing or a thing that happens in other countries. Like, I think all over the world, we like cannibalize our historical monuments so that we can sell trinkets and junk and trips and like tours and shit. And, the real shit, the stuff I was interested in, this is what I thought before the trip, but it was like definitely confirmed by the past week. I'm interested in how people are living right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I like history, but in a way, it kind of is better to just read about it and then look at the monuments from afar than it is to actually go up in there. Because when you go up in there, it's all fucking smelly Europeans that just want to look at it,
It's
fat,
all
stupid Americans.
It's all
and,
fucking, Andreas and Hans and shit clogging up the fucking.
Well, it's awful because you go there and you see like a mirror image of yourself. You just look around and it's all tourists and it's people that want to sell tourist stuff. It's like there are some Thai people there, but like it's mostly tourists. And I wanted to see where are the Thai people like living now. Like the people in Bangkok, where the fuck do they eat? I wanted to go see that shit, and it turns out they eat delicious food. I went back to the hostel after the food tour. This is the Twee hostel. And I walk in, and I'm like, ooh, boy, food tour was great, And there's this chick sitting there, and she was like, oh, I did the food tour. Blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I was like, can you expand on that? And she was like, all the food was like dirty and stuff. It was like made in street carts and shit. It's like,
what the fuck? Like,
exactly, what the fuck? It's a street food tour, first of all. You're not being misled. But also, I don't know, who gives a shit? I mean, like, it's like when you go to, like, there are, like, street fairs and shit in America where people are cooking at stalls. It's the same thing. You can cook outdoors and it'll be fine. But also, who gives a fuck if it's fine or not? Guys are cooking with their hands. They're sweating into your food. They're
Yeah.
sneezing on it. I don't give a fuck. The food tastes good. It's hot. You know, they cook it at a temperature that will kill bacteria, hopefully. And if it doesn't kill bacteria, whatever. I have
Yeah.
an immune system. I'm here to eat the good food. Like, I'm not gonna be a baby about it.
That's what I mean. These are like the people that like go. These are the people that like I think like are really like killing cities. Do you know what I mean? Like these are the people that they go to cities, they move in or whatever, and they look around, they go, okay, I need a Starbucks, I need a fucking Applebee's, I need suburbia here, and I don't give a
Right.
fuck. Like, they're walking by and they're like, there's like this, like, I don't know, like an Italian deli or whatever that's been there for 100 years. And they're like, fuck that. I'm going to the Subway because it's nice and clean, and I know exactly what I'm going to get. And
These are the idiots that go to Bangkok and they eat in the airport themed mall. You know what I mean?
but you know what I mean? Like, they're like people that like, they can't, they like, it's like almost like it's lost on them. Like they can't, and it's like a weird alienness to me, like, cause like I know they're out there and this is what they think, but they go to like new places, new things, and they're like, I need this to be homogenous. I need this to be like what I'm used to, and they don't really necessarily want to go out. Like, they go to like local coffee shops and they're like, I need a frappuccino, and they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, I want the frappuccino, make me and they like lose their minds and shit. These are the people that are out there, and there's tons of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
well, there's a lot of them and they have money, and so like yeah, of course the local industry is going to start to cater to them.
right.
But yeah, it just blew my mind. Honestly, like the street cart guys, they could like cough in my mouth. I wouldn't give a shit. Like
Yeah.
make my delicious dirty food. I'll fucking eat it.
Yeah,
It's fine.
that's how I feel too, man. It's just like, yeah, just make it, And especially if you have that. What's crazy about it is like if you have someone that's like actually there, who lives there and eats there all the time, and he's telling you this is probably one of the best things I've ever eaten in my time living here. Eat the
Right.
fucking food. Just eat it. What's wrong with
Yeah.
you? You're,
Just try. Like, what do you think? All the Thais are just shitting their pants all day because they're eating at these street carts? No, they're fine. They're fine. Just grow up.
yeah.
Grow up and eat dirty food. It's fine. Also, I mean, fuck, when you go to a restaurant, they're doing the same shit in back. You just can't see them.
Yeah.
You think in restaurants are fucking clean? I've worked in restaurants. Restaurants are not clean. Okay, people get served like questionable shit all the time. Even if it's like in the fridge, it'll like things will leak on it from above, and it's like, oh, what the fuck is this green shit in the fridge that's leaking onto our salmon fillet? I don't know. Dab it off with a fucking paper towel. We gotta serve this now.
Yeah. Just go to any diner, I would think, and it would be everything's probably questionable. It's like, who gives a shit? Just eat it. Like
I've definitely eaten like biscuits and gravy at American diners that look like exactly like vomit.
yeah, like I don't know. I did want to just before I kind of forget about it, but I did want to backtrack just a little bit because I think you made a really good point about like going to cities and experiencing them that I think is true, which is like that past versus present thing, like seeing the temple or whatever and having it being filled with tourists who are there, I think, trying to capture something. Like they read about it, it's hyped up, they want to see it, and what they're seeing is something that is it's always lacking, at least for me when I see these things, because you're thinking of it's going to be something bigger than it actually is. And I think what you said is true, right? Because like I think people make the present, right? And I think the present where people are is what they're trying to capture. So when you go back and you look at these old things, these were someone's present. They were someone's current time or certain time in a present that is in the past now. And the vibrancy that was once there has now shifted to other places or other things, right? So you're trying to capture that, but at a certain time. And I always feel like it's lacking, right? Because I always feel like it's always missing something, And I mean, you can look at it from other lenses, like, architecturally or historically, or like be like, oh, this is neat or whatever. But to me, like I always get more out of kind of just like walking around, maybe going to a cafe, sitting and people watching than I have going to, monuments. As much as I go to monuments, but it's just like I always felt like just hanging out in the city and just kind of getting a feel for it, where it's there's people has always been more informative and cool. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah, well, I mean, you go to a place, and if you're trying to like explore history, you can't because you're in the present.
You're right.
You
Yeah,
can't.
right.
That's the main problem is you can't do it. And then you go there, and there's a bunch of like fucking hucksters, and they want to sell you crap. It sucks. But the thing too is like if you go to a place and you're trying to explore history, it's like you're trying to explore another place. Just like if you go to a place and you have like too much of an idea about like what it's supposed to be because you read too much about the place beforehand, you have this fantasy version built into your head, you're going to have a bad time. It doesn't apply just to Bangkok. I mean, you go over to your friend's apartment and he's like, "Oh, dude, yeah, Leslie's going to be there." And you get all hyped up and you're like, "Oh, fuck yeah, Leslie's great." And then you get there and Leslie's not there. You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think old Leslie there is a lot like an ancient.
Are you kidding me, man? Leslie's smoking hot, and she's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to say that because it just live in the present. Go check out check out the historical stuff, but really check out how people are creating and making today. Because I always feel like it's much more interesting because you're a part at that moment. You're part of history. It doesn't feel like it, but you're actually seeing it alive. You're in.
Don't make the present more boring. You don't make the present be a part of history. You just made the present sound so boring to me.
Sorry. What was I gonna say?
Just say you're living in the present. Don't say the present's part of history. That makes it sound boring as fuck.
Well, no, I mean what I meant by that, I guess, is that
History's boring, dude.
your
Fuck
current.
it. I want to go to the mall.
Your current present will one day be a historical thing that people will, I guess, read about, maybe. So
Yeah. Well, if somebody says like, "Oh man, so what's Bangkok like?" and then they just rail off a bunch of like historical facts and data and shit, and you'll be like, "Shut the fuck up." I don't give a shit about that stuff. I want to know if they have McDonald's. Do they have corn pies? You moron.
give me the corn
Tell
pies.
me the important shit. Yeah, give me the fucking corn pie update.
Give me the corn pie stats. Anywho, I guess this girl didn't like street food. That's what I'm hearing. Did she eat at Olive Garden or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I also wanted to say about the street food tour. It was me, this German guy from the hostel, and by the way, the hostel mostly German people.
Really?
It's like small German colony. It was me, this German guy from the hostel, and then these two this couple from Scotland, from I think Edinburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Edinburgh. I don't know how the fuck they said it.
That was right.
I couldn't understand them. They were Scottish, but it was this older Scottish couple, and they were like retired, and they like had been going around the world and stuff, and like doing touristy shit, and they were like really pleasant and lovely. I think their names were Stuart and Martha.
Those are very strong names, like.
Right. Yeah. They introduced themselves, and instantly I was like, I know everything about you. You told me everything just then.
Yeah.
And they were great to have on the street food tour because they like didn't really know the food as much, and they weren't as into it as I was because we had 16 courses, and literally I just fucking loved all of them. Like, and some of it was just like, there was just like this green juice, and another one was like a Chinese donut, and another one was like a cookie, and another one was flower tea, and then there was this like curry, and he just kept throwing shit at my head, and I was eating it, and I was like, this is great. And the older Scottish couple was like, I don't like this. which is good, but they were very nice about it. They weren't fussy.
They're like,
just. This is why I appreciated them, is because they wanted to try everything, and they didn't have to like it or dislike it. And I think that's a perfectly healthy attitude to have. It's stupid to be the extreme of like, look, I'm a world traveler and I love culture, and you just fucking like everything because then you're boring as shit. It's also bad to be a person that's like, no, I'm rejecting everything because it's not like Olive Garden at home or whatever.
yeah.
I think they struck a good middle balance of like, I'm gonna try stuff. I don't have to like it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So they were very cool. Another thing I liked about the older Scottish couple is, it was just the four of us, me and this German dude, and like the Scottish couple were sharing their plates, and me and my German friend, we were sharing a plate, and it was nice. And they continually, the older Scottish couple, referred to us as the boys, which I love. It was like, oh, because before then, this entire trip, I was like, I'm just a wanderer. I don't have an identity. I don't have a place. And then I was on this street food tour, and I was lumped in with the boys, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm the boys.
Yeah. You're like, I'm
absolutely,
home. I'm home.
Oh my God, Mom, I love you. She would be like, oh, did the boys get to try that one? Yeah, I was like, the boys. They didn't have to have a conversation about it. They both knew, and they started calling us the boys. I kind of looked over at my German friend there.
My new brother.
I was like, we're the boys. I don't think he was as charmed by it as I was, but I was like, I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. Did I tell you about how I went to the dentist?
No, I did not hear about how you went to the dentist. How did you go to the dentist?
So, like, in Los Angeles, I don't have, like, health insurance or any of that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have, like, the free California stuff, but that's really only for, like, if I need to, I guess, go to the emergency room or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't get dental is the thing. But so when I was in Bangkok, I, like, heard somehow that they have, like, world-class dental facilities and dentists working in Bangkok. So I made an appointment. And it's actually like a really well-established thing. Like I made the appointment through this site called Dental Departures. And I did a search in Bangkok. What dentist do you have there? Like fucking 30 dentists come up. And there are like reviews. Like it's a really like well-established system. So I was like, great, I'm in safe hands. People do this. It's fine. And I think it was like the third or fourth day I was in Bangkok. And I had my dental appointment. So I go there, and like I'm kind of surprised because it's not like in an office building like tucked away. It's like just on the main strip, so that when you walk from like off the street, off the sidewalk, straight into the dentist's office. It's like clean. It's nice. They have big, comfy couches. They sit me down. I start filling out my information. The person who dealt with me spoke very good English. And then after talking to me, she turned to the Japanese guy next to me and spoke very good Japanese.
Oh, man. Doesn't that make you feel like shit? Doesn't that make you feel...
So inadequate.
Yeah. You're just like, I have wasted so much time.
Dude, I felt... Like, I started this trip, and I was like, I have a good handle, like, on myself and life in the world. And then all I tried to do was learn, like, 5 phrases, and I was like, oh, I'm a dipshit. Because I tried to learn hello, goodbye, yes, no, and thank you. Let me see if I can remember them. Okay, so hello is Sawat Sawadee cop. And that last bit, cop, is kind of like, it's like a male thing. Like, I'm a man. This is me showing you respect. I'm a man. Sawadee cop. It's kind of like saying, hello, man, or hello, I'm a man, or something like that. Because the women say, Sawadee ka. Hello, I'm a woman. That's hello.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye. I don't remember goodbye.
It's just a wave. Just stick your hand up and wave.
I've been like kind of like nodding and raising my eyebrows in a very white guy kind of, hey, all right.
Yeah, you make a slight grimace and you go.
Like and turn my head to the side. Like I point with my head towards the door. I'm like, heading out.
I'm going that way.
Yeah, try to stop me. Then there's yes is chai, which I remembered because of the lovely drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then no is my chai, which also easy to remember. And then thank you is kapun kap. So basically throughout the week, I was struggling really hard to remember those few things, and I like even wrote it down on a piece of paper. I wrote down those things on a piece of paper and like stuck it in my back pocket. And so I would, nervously walk up to the food man and I would be like, okay, hold on, let me get my paper. I'd get it out and it'd be like smeared with ass sweat because I've been walking around all day, and so like the ink is running and I'd be like, so D cop. And he'd be like, so D cop. And then, it turns out I didn't even really fucking need to learn any words, because like, what do I do when I go to a food stall, which is my main thing I do here, is I point at the picture. Even if I knew the hello, goodbye, yes, no shit, it wouldn't help me if there weren't pictures.
Yeah.
I need the pictures.
I remember one time when I was trying to speak Arabic when I was in Jordan. I remember I said some phrase, probably like, how are you, something. I remember someone, they responded back to me in English. They're like, hey, how's it going? I was like, fuck.
I did that a couple times and I felt like the biggest dipshit ever.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like, a lot of places you go, people, know English, right? It's just like, it's very widespread due to, history and such. I'm not saying don't learn a language. I'm just saying that, usually you can kind of get by.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make the effort just to be like, hey guys, I'm not smart, but I'm not an asshole. I'm trying.
Right.
And I'm sure they could see by the expression on my face that was kind of like, please God, don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, also it works because like, fuck, they don't give a shit if you know the language or not. They want to sell you the thing.
Right.
If you point to the picture, they will give you the thing and you'll give them money and they'll be like, great, I love that guy now.
Yeah, right. Money has been made. Everyone's happy. I got the soup. You got the money.
I got the soup. You got the money. How's that Pet Shop Boys song go? Anyways, so I'm at the dentist. I'm signing away like all my like rights, or whatever, because it's like, it's a legal document still, and it's, it's saying stuff like, hey, what's up? Just so you know, this is a teeth cleaning and a filling, and you could die. So all right, and you sign it. Well, because it's like, that's the same shit I'm signing in America. And I paused for a second. I was like, should I be like traveling to a place I've never been on the other side of the world alone and then signing a thing that says I could die? It made me feel a little unsafe.
Did it actually say you could die?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I mean, like, I guess they're just covering all their bases,
Yeah. I don't know.
It was like specifically, you can die if you have like an allergic reaction that you didn't know about or didn't tell us about.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Anything up to and including death.
Okay, I see. As I'm just thinking, I'm just like a piece of paper that says you could die and then an X.
Right, yeah. There's like a 50-50 odds that this tooth cleaning will be fatal. Yeah. Or a guy sometimes he cleans your teeth with a brush, sometimes he uses a gun. So
that's why he's the best.
So I sign away my shit, and they lead me upstairs, and they sit me down, and I think I'm with two assistants because they're both very young. They're like 20 years old. And no, this is like the dentist. The dentist is like 20 years old, and she speaks perfect English. And the entire time I was there, like in the dentist's office, I didn't see anybody that was older than like 25. And so I think what happens is they go to dental school in Thailand, and then maybe they just leave after like practicing for a couple of years.
Okay.
The way they did the cleaning was they like put I don't know if this is how they do it in America, because I really haven't been to a dentist since I was a kid, but I don't remember this happening. But they put like a mask on my face that blocked out like my vision. It's like a falcon's mask. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Normally I don't think they do those for cleanings, but I guess it's to keep maybe the water out of your eye or something.
I don't know if they just did it because they're like, I don't want this guy looking at me. But they put a thing where I couldn't see at all. And so they were like, working on my teeth and cleaning. every couple minutes they would stop and they'd be like, "Are you okay?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, why?" And they're like, "'Cause you're like fucking gripping the chair."
You're hurting me.
Well, I haven't been to a dentist in a long time, so going to the dentist normally would give me anxiety, but like, and I'm an enlightened world traveler. Oh, what? Getting dental care in Bangkok? Not a big deal for me, except it still kind of is.
Turns out it is.
Turns out it kind of freaks me out. After the cleaning, yeah, my back tooth there kind of hurt, and they're like, "All right, let's get some X-rays." And they lead me to a side room. They sit me down with the assistant. The assistant who's like younger than the dentist who's 20. So the assistant I assume is like 14. I don't know. The assistant like hooks up the X-ray machine and they take an X-ray. And then they look at it and they kind of like make this face like, this ain't what I want to see. And then they take another X-ray. I was like, all right, fine, 2 X-rays. I mean, I'm wearing like the lead blanket thing or whatever, so I'm like, this is fine. 2 is fine. And they look at the thing again and they're like, all right, 1 more. And I'm like, okay, this is this is kind of a lot, right?
I'm starting to glow a bit.
Like and again, I don't know anything about medicine across the world. I assume it's the same everywhere, but like, I don't know. Make sure you're shooting a normal amount of X-rays, okay? That's all I'm saying. Don't accidentally have that shit cranked to high. And then they do a 3rd X-ray and they kind of look at it again. They're like, "Huh, yeah, I don't know." And the assistant like goes and they bring somebody, and the other person and the assistant are kind of like looking at the X-rays. And I'm looking at the X-rays, and they look normal. I don't know. They got my teeth on there. I'm like, so I'm like, hey, is there something wrong? And then the 2 assistants like look at each other, and they kind of laugh. And I'm like, man, I don't want you to be doing that.
Always a good sign.
So they take like 3 or 4 more, and I guess they eventually got what they needed, or they just gave up because they're like, oh, we're gonna kill this person. I mean, I really don't know. So my experience at the dentist in Bangkok is positive. I would recommend it to you because the cleaning and the X-rays, of which there were many, it was like $30.
Man, that is really true. I think traveling anywhere outside of the United States makes you realize just how like absolutely fucked like medical care is inside the United States.
Oh man, yeah, it's ridiculous. Like it costs way too much. I mean, $30 is really cheap, but it felt right. It was like an hour or 2 of banging around in my head. That seems fair. It also seems crazy to me that more people don't do this. Like, why am I not hearing about people having dental adventures in Bangkok? This is what tourists should be doing. People are coming over here like idiots and going to spas and shit. No, dude, spend that $30 at the dentist, get a teeth cleaning. You'll feel white as rain the next day. And you'll be ready to like have a bunch of fucking sugary noodles and stuff. I like the cleaning actually came at a perfect time because my teeth were starting to hurt from all the sugar.
Yeah.
And then I got the cleaning and I was like, great, I can do another week of eating my delicious food.
You just go back every week for a cleaning, and they're like, "Haven't I seen you before?" And you're like, yeah, just give me the fucking cleaning.
I'm a regular. I'm here for a teeth cleaning. They're going to give me a shave. It's like an old-timey barber shop.
How's it going, Mr. Ganta? Just a little off the top, boys.
Just put the falcon thing on my head. Just get to work. Episode 1 of the podcast, medical tourism. Episode 3 of the podcast, burial at sea.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. What really makes like really stark traveling, aside from
What's that?
from medicine, is when you can in anywhere else except here in the States, is you can actually walk around cities at night and not have to do a weird paranoid meta game where you avoid certain things in certain areas because you're afraid you'll be shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I should be afraid in certain areas of Bangkok, but I just don't know. I'm too dumb to know.
Yeah.
Which is also that's kind of a relief. I like the idea that I'm walking around and I'm clueless and it's okay cuz nobody expects me to know. I'm a dumb baby to them. But yeah, Bangkok at night rules because the SkyTrain is running. There are people out on the sidewalks. People are cooking and selling their food. It's like a really lively place at night. Like the craziest night here was like a Tuesday night, like when I was like walking around like through one of these night markets. Like I walked into like randomly I walked into like this festival that had a bunch of stuff set up in Lumpini Park, which is like their Central Park. And then I walked over to a night market and it was like really popping and I was out till like 1 in the morning. I was like, holy shit, what a night. And I got home, I was like, oh fuck, it was Tuesday. And not like an exceptional Tuesday. It wasn't like, I came, oh, this is the big Tuesday. Thank God I made it. It was like, no, that was Tuesday.
It really is like, just to me, for me, like when you travel around, you really get the idea of just how like spread out cities in the States are. Because like you go to like, I don't know, like a city like I don't know, Memphis or something, and you look at it and it's like, yeah, it's a metro of like what 2 million people, and you're like, that's a good size of people. And you go there and it's like there's like 5 people in this whole city. There's no one outside. I don't know what's the deal here, And then like you go to like cities, over just anywhere really, anywhere outside of like Anglo land, and 3,000 people live there, but they all are like so densely packed. You're like, this feels like
they're outside.
yeah, it feels like New York or something, like Midtown in like summer or something. Like this is crazy, And it just
Right. Yeah. I mean, like life is lived publicly, which is, I mean, it's cool. I dig it. Like it has a very cool vibe. I really liked this week in Bangkok because it is so different from what I'm used to. Like in the Midwest, everyone stays cooped up. In
Yeah.
LA, it's kind of the same. People are out, but I mean, they're just driving from one brunch spot to another.
yeah.
You can see them, but you'll have to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very like capsulized, right? Like there's no that's what I mean. It's like you really get the sense that there is no public space in the States. It's just going from one private space to the next. Private space of your house to your car to your job to a restaurant to whatever, but there's no like intermediary public space that you're all just kind of hanging out and lingering in as you go about your business. I feel like that concept is pretty alien to most cities here. So I don't know. It's cool to see, I think. I don't know if you get that vibe, right, over in Bangkok.
No, I definitely do. I think it's my favorite thing about Bangkok, even.
No, it's alive. You feel it. It's like, oh yeah, this is what a real city's like.
But even then, I mean, like, even though like now Bangkok has a vibe, I don't know how to like describe it, And I think part of it is because like the way I think about shit is not like I don't form like identities of places in my head in a way that can be like expressed verbally necessarily. It's just a vibe. I go to a place and what I experience is what I experience. I went to 2 hostels. I've been in 2 Airbnbs. One of them smelled like shit. And I went to a bunch of restaurants and I walked a lot and my ass sweat. But that's what like maybe the zest of life is all about, right? The tanginess in your mouth of a sweet dish. The ass sweat in your ass from a long walk. And so on.
The plaque building up on your teeth from all of the sugar you've eaten.
Yeah, but it's good. Like I feel like I do feel like even though, yeah, I'm a tourist. I've only been here a week, and I didn't do all the coolest shit because I don't know anything, and I didn't try to do all the coolest shit because I don't have the energy. Even so, I do feel like okay, I kind of got like a taste of like what this city is about, and I don't know, that feels awesome. And this is week 1 of traveling, so it might be week 2. It's like, never mind. I fucking hate traveling. Why am I doing this? Why do I have 20 pounds of shit with me? This was a mistake.
I'm filled with regret.
Oh my God, I've ruined my life.
Oh well, at least his corn pie is good.
I'll always have that.
I'll always have you corn pie. Man, well, cool. Well,
Kevin, thanks for talking to me, dude.
yeah, it's no problem, man. Keep keep it up. Good talking to you. I look forward to hearing more of your adventures abroad, man.
Thanks for saying that thing I paid you to say.
Yes. Yes. This. By the way, I should probably say this now. This was sponsored, I think, by the concept of corn pies. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, I think that they're really going to be blowing up in America, specifically at a McDonald's near you.
Check out corn pies, everybody. Just check them out.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you, Derek.